Okay, today we're going to be learning about functions and modules. A function is a way to simplify what you're doing. When you're finding yourself continuously repeating code, you should create a function. The rule is typically the rule of thirds, in that if you find yourself repeating something 3 times or more, then you should probably write a function to do that in the future, in your future code. So let's go ahead and create some functions. I have a hypothetical situation. We're going to a restaurant and we are going to sit down at the restaurant, but we want to figure out how much the total price is going to cost based on what we order. The person, like any given person's eating time, how much they will take to eat a particular food, and the waiting time it's going to take to get into the restaurant. So let's go ahead and build some functions. So the way that we build a function is we type in def. This is where we're going to be defining the function. And then we give the function a name. In this case, why don't we name it something? It's always good to name your functions after what the function is actually doing. So we'll go ahead and call this function total price. Okay, and total price is a function of what? Well, it's a function of uh, the cost of your food. It's also a function of how much tax, and it's also a function of the tip. So it doesn't really matter what those three things say. So each of these are variables that we're going to be filling in later, that we're going to pass to the function. It'll make a little bit more sense what's going on in just a bit. So, all right, so we've got this total price going on now. So total price, when we have the tax, it's going to be, let's go ahead and say that the tax is pretty standard. You know where you're going out to eat. You know that the tax is already predefined to be a certain thing. So let's go ahead and say that tax is equal to like 0.0775, which is what the tax is in Orem, I believe, or Provo. So we've got 0.0775, so that's 7% tax, close to an 8% tax. And so we'll take the cost, which is going to be the menu cost of a pizza or a hamburger or whatever you intend to order. So we're going to go ahead and do the cost times the tax, to give us how much the tax is going, how much tax we're actually going to be paying on top of our cost. So we'll go ahead and say that tax cost is equal to cost times tax. Okay, so now our total cost is going to be equal to the cost of the menu item. So maybe that's a $12, let's say it's a $12 pizza, plus the tax cost, right? And so that's going to be the bill that you would get if you just ordered a pizza and they give you the tax on top of that. Well then, not only that, but we need to include a tip if we're at a sit-down restaurant. So the tip is usually, some amount that we pay on top of the cost plus the tax cost. So in this case, our tip is going to be tip cost is equal to total times the tip that the function's already going to know. When we run the program, we are going to be putting in information for cost and for tip. So the function is already going to grab cost and tip here. So we don't need to worry about defining that right now. So that's going to be our tip cost, and we might be putting in a 15% tip. We might put in a 10% tip if we're feeling really stingy, or maybe a 25% tip if it's our friend, or if we're feeling ecstatic at the restaurant. Okay, so then that means that we can redefine total to be equal to the cost plus the tax cost plus the tip cost. And then what we'll do is we will say return total. All right. Well, that's our first function. And we will see more specifically what that does in a minute. I guess we could see what it does now. But when this comes up in our code, we are going to go ahead and call, or basically run, the function total price. So in essence, we could print to the screen how much is the cost, and we could say cost equals raw input, and it's, we'll input how much that is, and then we'll say print how much percent do you want to tip. It's a good thing we're not English majors. Grammar. Okay, so tip equals, oh, I probably shouldn't do, let's go ahead and just do input, since it's going to be a number, and we'll trust that we're going to put in numbers and not letters. Okay, and so then what we can do is we can say total price, and then we can say cost tip, and we will go ahead, and that will show us how much we're going to be paying for the price of whatever it is that we're buying. So you don't have to run this in your own programs, you can just watch this here. But if I, where am I going? Okay, there we go. Leave. So let's go ahead and move into where this is. So this is on my desktop. This is in my code folder. And let's go ahead and run Python. I called this functions.py. You can call it whatever you want. Alright, so how much is the cost? Well, let's say that we had a $12 pizza. So $12 is the cost. And then how much percent do you want to tip? Well, I want to tip, that's 15%, so that's pretty good. Oh, we forgot to print out. Print total price cost tip. There we go. Now let's go ahead and run that again. Okay, so it costs $12, 15%. Oh, look, the total that we're going to be paying is $14.87, it looks like. Now, the function went ahead and did all of those computations for us, which is really nice. It keeps the code very handy and very clean. There are other functions that we can do now. So if we want to estimate a person's eating time, then we can say this. Let's define another function and call it eat time. And eating time is a function of, let's say, food type and age. Yeah, that's good. Let's say that older people can generally eat more than younger people. That might break down at some point, but okay, so now we have, we can throw in an if statement. If food type equals pizza, then let's go ahead and say time equals let's say 15 minutes. So it's 15. Else, or elif, let's do else. So else if food type equals burger, then time equals it's gonna be, it takes shorter to eat a burger, 10 minutes. And let's just say else if food type, or not else if, it's just else if food type is oh, that's right, you don't put anything in for else colon, then time, we're gonna say that it's gonna take them a lot longer, and we'll say it's 30 minutes to eat everything. Okay, so now that we have that, let's say that time is also a function of age. So time, so we'll say eat time is equal to time times, and for fun we'll put 1 over the age. Because as you get older, it should take you yeah, so if you're young, it should take you less time. Anyway, we'll just say that that's what it is. I don't know how much sense that makes, but it's cool. All right, our waiting time estimation. So we can do another function. Let's do define wait time to be something along the lines of, let's say it's a function of number of people at the restaurant. So oh, we got to do a colon, don't forget that. So we'll take the number of people and we will multiply it by let's say that the turnover rate is about 5 minutes. And so let's just, for simplicity's sake, we'll say that each person, takes, or let's say that it's a minute. Nope, too easy. Let's say it's 5 minutes per person. And so there's a turnover rate of like 5 minutes per table. So wait time equals number of people times 5, because they're each going to take 5 minutes to at least turn over. And let's say that the capacity of the restaurant is 25 or so. We'll just say that this is what the time is, because okay, so wait time is that. Yeah, I'm very aware. Okay. All right, and what we need to do now is we've got 5 minutes each. We want to convert this into minutes, so it's going to be times, nope, divided by 60. And because we want to make sure that this is a floating point number, make sure to put a decimal. In fact, maybe that's probably good to do here too, just in case that does not, well, it won't matter, I guess. Okay, so that's what wait time, and then we'll say return wait time. All right. And we didn't return something here. We need to return eat time. Okay, so my time has run out. This is only a 15-minute long video, so look to the second video for the rest.